Well, we've got the ARC's ICF system all in place now, and with me I've got the contractor on the job, Bob McMillan. How are you, Bob?
Good, good.
You're at the concrete filling. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great day to be doing it, too.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, we're placing concrete here today with a line pump.
Now, why a line pump?
Instead of an overhead pump crane, you can use either one, but the building's kind of in the way for an overhead pump, so we're using a line pump.
So that way you can work in underneath, is that
underneath,
the case?
That's right. And,
okay.
And we're using a 2-inch line, and it's working real well with a 6-inch slump. So it's a real soupy concrete.
Right.
And it's working good. It's flowing real good through a 2-inch line.
I see the Rempel concrete truck here. Are they mixing and keeping that slump just right for you?
That's right. That's right.
And that's pretty important, I would think, especially with the 2-inch line.
Very important. That's
How do they control that?
They control it with water or a plasticizer, a chemical, either one.
Now, the plasticizer or the chemical, that's added to keep it thin?
Thin, that's right.
For how long?
For about an hour, and then it turns back to the standard slump that it was.
So it goes right back to its firmness and that within the form.
That's right.
And then where do you go from there?
We place, today we're placing about 30 inches at a time around the bottom, and to get it set and started, and then we've made 2 passes since then, so we're going to make 3 passes today.
So 3 passes, and that'll get it right up to the top of the wall.
Top, yeah.
Interesting, the actual scaffolding system is acting as not only a support to keep the wall nice and straight, but also to keep it perpendicular during the placing of concrete, supported back to the backfill. And then you have the catwalk around it. That sure makes it convenient.
That's correct. They call it an alignment system. It's built to align the wall perfectly straight.
Right.
And we have a scaffolding attachment that we hook onto it at the level we want to be able to work at the top of the wall.
Right, so you can work right up to the top. Now, when you're placing the concrete, as you indicated at the time in this particular case, is there a reason for that, just to keep it settling or setting?
Yeah, keep it, work your way up, you bet.
Now, pounding on the side of the form, that more or less
consolidates the concrete
right in.
That's right.
Great, and takes the air out.
That's right. Yeah. And we're doing that method instead of a vibrator. Again, the vibrator, it's kind of hard to get into with the house sitting on top to get the vibrator in and up and down out of the walls.
Right. Well, this Heritage House has never had it so good, has it?
No, that's right.
Now, with the top of the wall being now, you can see it being placed, and it's being leveled off, troweled off.
Troweled off, right.
And what's the next step from there?
Then we'll put anchor bolts in.
No, the anchor bolts, so therefore, I'll just get one right here. Now, the anchor bolts that you're using here, Bob, are the crimp type, and I guess that's because they shove down easier into the concrete?
That's correct, yes.
Once the concrete gets a little stiff.
Yep.
Now, once that goes down into the concrete, on goes the plate, on goes the washer and the bolt, and then we're ready to bolt down the joist system.
That's correct, and so the whole house is fastened, anchored down to the concrete.
How long before we can drop the house on that foundation?
Well, 3 days would be good.
3 days is great, because we always say 28 days curing on the concrete, but it's curing all the time.
It keeps curing all the time.
But it's also structural after that 3 days.
That's right.
Now, what's the next step?
The waterproofing, the peeling stick goes on next.
Goes on, and that'll come up to the grade level.
Grade level, that's correct. And we'll start that in a couple hours and keep the job going.
Great. Boy, John.